In the heart of the night, as shadows danced with the flickering candlelight, Elara found herself ensnared by a darkness that whispered promises of power and release from all her earthly pains. The demon, a master of deceit and manipulation, wove its essence into the very fibers of her being, turning her thoughts against those she loved most. Compelled by a force she could neither understand nor resist, Elara moved through the house as if in a trance, each step heavy with the weight of impending doom. The knife in her hand felt cold and alien, yet she gripped it with a resolve that was not her own. Her parents, deep in their peaceful slumber, lay unaware of the nightmare that had invaded their home. The demon, through Elara, savored the anticipation of the violence to come. It was a scene poised on the edge of tragedy, a moment frozen in the quiet before the storm. With a heart heavy with sorrow and a mind clouded by the demon's influence, Elara stood over her parents' bed. Tears streamed down her cheeks, the last vestiges of her resistance manifesting in silent sobs. Yet, the demon's will was inexorable, and her arms moved with a purpose dictated by the darkness within. The deed, once done, left a silence more profound than any that had come before. Elara, now a prisoner within her own mind, screamed in horror at the realization of what she had been forced to do. The demon, however, reveled in the chaos it had sown, its laughter echoing in the void where Elara's innocence once resided. In the aftermath, the village was shaken to its core. The tragedy of Elara's family spoke of dangers beyond the ken of simple folk, of evils that lurked in the unseen corners of the world. The wise woman, burdened with guilt for not sensing the demon's presence sooner, dedicated herself to teaching the villagers the signs of malevolent spirits, hoping to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. Elara, forever changed, was consumed by guilt and despair. The village, in their grief and fear, could not bear to hold her accountable, knowing the true culprit was the demon that had used her as a vessel for its malice. Yet, neither could they look upon her without remembering the horror of that night. In the end, Elara chose exile, wandering into the misty forests in search of redemption or oblivion, haunted by the memories of what she had done and the knowledge that her hands, though not her will, had been the instruments of unspeakable tragedy. Her journey became a cautionary tale, a sorrowful reminder of the fragility of the human spirit when faced with the corrupting influence of darkness. It spoke to the necessity of vigilance, not only against external threats but also against the vulnerabilities within each heart, that could be exploited by forces seeking entry into our world. In the silence of the woods, Elara's footsteps were a quiet testament to the cost of failing to guard against the darkness, a lone figure seeking forgiveness in a world that had moved on. Her story whispered on the wind as a lamentation for what was lost and a warning for what might yet come to pass.